What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we got a song battle featuring Manic Street Preachers. Their songs, the theme from MASH versus the Love of Richard Nixon, brought to us by a friend, longtime supporter, and patron of the channel, Pete. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons who make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out that Patreon link below or the Patreon link on the end screen. We couldn't do it without the patrons. All right, Pete said, it's the band you know, but completely different music. So I love the Manic Street Preachers. I don't know their whole catalog, but a few of their albums, one of them finished at #1 on an album draft series that Trey and I did a few years ago. Top 10 albums from every year. Go check that out after this, 1965 through 2023. So I became a big fan of MSP during that time, but I don't know either one of these. So we're going to start out with Theme from MASH, in parentheses, Suicide is Painless, from 1992. Originally recorded for the NME's Ruby Tracks charity compilation album of UK #1 singles to celebrate their 40-year anniversary, this quickly became a standout track in the Manic's catalog, reaching #7 in the UK singles chart all the way back in September of 1992. The song itself is a cover of the theme song of both the television series and its predecessor, the movie MASH. It was written by Johnny Mandel and Michael Altman in 1970. The original, described by the film's director Robert Altman himself as wanting the stupidest song ever written. I don't know why he would say that for the film, and the track itself ended up being written by Robert Altman's 14-year-old son Michael, who apparently wrote the lyrics in approximately 5 minutes. It did reach #1 in the UK in 1980. It was released alongside a cover of the Bryan Adams Everything I Do It For You by the Fatima Mansions, with the proceeds going to the spastic society known as Scope. It was later to be included, so you might know it this way from the MSP, as a bonus track on the 20th anniversary edition of Generation Terrorist, and became a fan favorite. Look, I know the theme song to MASH. My mom loved that show. It was on from 1971 to 1982, one of the most famous sitcoms of all time, but I didn't know there was any words to it. So, all right, on that note, I'm going to have the lyrics up as always. Thanks again, Pete.
For me, I realize that I can't see.
right? The theme from MASH. It was just strange, right? I love MSP. I had no idea there were actual lyrics to the song. It was a theme to MASH, right? Just dressed up with guitars, but you knew exactly what it was. It had a nice solo with about a minute and a half left, but like you totally recognize what it was, just in a little different way. You know, it was good. The lyrics weren't horrible. I mean, if a 14-year-old really wrote it in 5 minutes, he did a pretty darn good job because there's four verses. I mean, the theme of it, I won't really get into so much like what it's about, just because it's probably a little controversial to write this song if you did it today. But, you know, it was well done. Like I said, it was just weird knowing this show so well and just hearing it this way. How we go to the Love of Richard Nixon from the Lifeblood album in 2004 is the lead single from that album. Went to 2 in the UK, 4 in Scotland, and 17 in Ireland. What I was reading, it said the sound is more electronic than most of their previous hits, indicative of a slight switch on this album. According to the band, the song contains no guitar. So this is their 7th album. The song is, according to the band, a quote, a soundtrack to disillusion, hatred, love, and never giving up. More specifically, the song is a sympathetic appraisal of former U.S. President Richard Nixon and mentions some of his positive achievements, inevitably overshadowed, of course, by the Watergate scandal. The timing of the single's release was 2 weeks before George W. Bush's victory at the 2004 U.S. presidential elections. So he was getting in for a second term in the middle of the Iraqi war, all that good stuff. In an interview with Repeat Fanzine, the band also said it represents how they feel in comparison to Radiohead. Nikki in particular commented that they feel like Richard Nixon compared to Radiohead's John F. Kennedy. If Radiohead are Kennedy, the Manic Street Preachers are Nixon, the ugly duckling who had to try 10 times harder than anyone else. Paranoid megalomaniacs. So, good take there, man. I don't know what to expect from this thing.
decisions I have made in my public life, I have always tried to do what was best for the nation. I have never been a quitter.
All right, The Love of Richard Nixon. A really well done song. Nice melody on it. A strange sound there. There's keyboards and there's additional keyboards. I guess that's a keyboard. That's a synth making sort of a sound effect on there. But it's well written too. I mean, The Love of Richard Nixon, the chorus, death without assassination, the love of Richard Nixon. Yeah, they all betrayed you. Yeah, and your country too. And then, but it gets in there like love builds around the sandy beaches, love rains down like Vietnam's leeches. Richard III in the White House cowering behind divided curtains. The world is getting older, the times they fall behind you. The need, it still grows stronger. The best years never found you. So, I mean, Nixon got in by a landslide in 1968, right? And he got in by a bigger landslide in 1972. So he was cruising along. So he did 6 years of his presidency before he finally resigned. But it wasn't that the people wanted him out. You know, he made a mistake and then the people wanted him out. I think the chorus, one of the choruses toward the last chorus, I guess, people forget China and your war on cancer. So like all the good things that he did, right? Because all you know about Nixon is Watergate. That's just what happens, man. People, if you do something bad, people remember the worst thing you ever did. And don't really remember anything else. It kind of blots out everything. It's kind of the way I think we're designed as humans. Is that the right way to look at it? No, but that's just the way we do it. And then they play an outro actually of Richard Nixon saying, and all the decisions I've made in my public life, I've always tried to do what was best for the nation. I have never been a quitter. And he said that during his resignation speech. There's a little bit of irony there, but an interesting song for the Manic Street Preachers, who are, of course, not from the U.S., to do. And that's going to bring me to a winner. And I thought this was a really good battle. Really nice songs paired together because they are different for the MSP catalog. But I have an easy winner here. I thought the theme from MASH was fine. It's just a cover song, man. They did a good job on the guitars and everything sounded fine. But, you know, The Love of Richard Nixon, an original song, cleverly written. I thought the musicianship was fantastic. So I got to go with The Love of Richard Nixon. It's not real close for me, even though it's no shade at the theme from MASH. So let me know who you think won down below. What else should I check out from MSP? Like I said, I know a lot of their stuff, but I don't know all of their stuff. Thanks again to Pete for bringing it. Until next time, guys, I will see you.